Cool.
Hi, my name is Kristen with Yoga Day, and up to now we've pretty much been doing yoga just for kids and teenagers, but I had a request. This one is for my dad and for Beverly. It's only going to be about 10 minutes. It can be a completely daily routine. It's for your lower back and your hips because I know both of you have issues with that, and it's all going to be on the floor. Nothing's going to be standing up. We're going to be doing everything sitting down. So yeah, 10-15 minutes. We'll see how long it takes. We're going to start with a little bit of glute work and a little bit of core work, because a lot of times lower back problems, a lot of times that also has to do with lack of strength in the glutes and in the core. So we're just going to do a little bit of that first, then the rest of it's going to be some gentle stretching, and I'll show you how to do it. So go ahead, and actually before we start, it's sitting crisscross or however it's comfortable for you to sit. If you want to sit on a pillow, that's totally fine too. Roll your shoulders down and back and close your eyes. And so everyone knows this, that tension and stress can actually increase the amount of pain that you're feeling for whatever reason. And so for really quickly here, let's just take a couple of deep breaths, tune into how your body is feeling. Close your eyes, take a big breath in, and let it out. Notice if your shoulders are tense. If they are, roll them down and back, and then maybe you stretch your neck from side to side. You can take your hand and bring it on either side. Just tune into your body, feel how you're feeling. Interlace your fingers behind your head and gently pull. You'll feel the stretch in the back of your neck down between your shoulder blades. And the more you pull, the deeper the stretch. And then go ahead and bring your arms out. If you can, make a fist behind you. If you cannot, you use a strap or a belt or a kitchen towel or whatever it is. Lift your chest up, open your chest and your shoulders, and then gentle twist. Look over your left shoulder, arms over to the right. And then big breath, inhale, stretch up, and then exhale, look over your right shoulder, pull your arms over to the left. And come back to center. All right, now let's start. A little bit of glute work. So lie down on your back. Make your feet about hip width distance apart. Draw the belly in so you feel the lower back press into the mat, and then keep that contraction if you can. Hands down on your mat, squeeze your glutes, or on your floor, squeeze your glutes and lift your hips up for bridge pose. Now this is gonna sound a little weird, but while you're in bridge pose, I want you to take a hand and I want you to tap your hamstrings and see if your hamstrings are working. They should be, right? There should be a little bit of work with the hamstrings. And then I want you to take your hand and I want you to tap your glutes and see if they're working. And if they're not, if you feel them relaxed, tap them a little bit harder. See if you can turn them on. And then finally, muscles of your lower back. So in theory, from my understanding, all of these muscles should be working together synergistically to lift up, but many times the glutes aren't firing, and I know that from personal experience. So turn them on and lift your hips. And then slowly lower down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Try your best to articulate it. We're going to do those. Draw the belly in and lift the hips up. Notice if your knees want to pull way, way out to the side, don't let them. Push your big toes down, press your heels down. Here again, notice your glutes. If you notice that your glutes weren't really working on that first one, don't worry. Do 3 of these every day, really concentrating on them, and you'll start to get them to work again. And then slowly lower down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Big breath in. Breathe out, draw the belly in, lift the hips up. Last one. For this last one, if you want a little bit more of this and you want a little shoulder opener, you can take your hands, make a fist underneath your back, and then walk your shoulders down. As I did that, I noticed that I rotated the outside of my feet and my knees went out. So if you do that, push your big toes down, pull the knees in, you'll feel your inner thighs work to keep your knees in alignment. That's a good thing. And then slowly lower down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Bring your knees into your chest, rock gently side to side. All right, now a little bit of core work. So make your legs a 90 angle. Take your hands, place them on your knees, and straighten your arms. When you straighten your arms, that's going to force your knees not to be quite over your hips. You'll feel your lower belly engage. That's what you want. Now, you'll feel this, but you're really not going to feel the intensity of it until you very forcefully press your lower back into the mat. Press your lower back into the mat And then you should really feel it fire up your core muscles, especially those muscles below your belly button. Push your lower back down and hold this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax down. I like that because there's no risk of hurting your lower back in that one. It's all just engaging the muscles. We're going to do that same thing again, but I'm going to walk you through a couple of other ideas. And so bring your legs up, but this time when your legs are up, I want you to take your hands and place them on your hip bones. Now I want you to imagine you're pulling your hip bones toward one another. They're obviously not going to move, but you're going to feel those muscles. Now I want you to walk your hands up and forcefully press your lower back into the mat, keeping those hip bones pulling in toward one another. Now I want you to take your hands and place them on your rib cage. And now pull your rib cage in. Imagine that you have a girdle or a corset and you're pulling everything in. So it looks like you're doing nothing here, and in fact, I'm really working hard to make all of that happen. Hold that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Stretch your arms and your legs apart. That should feel good. Sway your legs. And now we're going to get into the stretching routine. So slowly come up. The first one that we're going to do is on our knees. If you need to get a pillow or if you have a mat and you want to double it over, that's always a good thing to do, especially if you don't have a carpeted floor. You're going to stand up on your knees. Take your right leg, step it forward. Now when you step it forward, you don't want this tiny little step to where you can't see your knees. You want a 90-degree angle with your knees so that you can see your toes out in front of you. And as we get into it, you might have to walk your foot a little bit further. First, put your hand on your knee, keep your upper body upright, and just push your hips towards your front foot. We're trying to stretch these muscles right here. So when you're stretching these muscles right here, a good idea is to squeeze the opposing muscle group. So squeeze your left glute, and then take your left arm up and over. And as you put your arm over to the right, you'll feel the stretch move, at least I do, from the quad through the hip and then all the way up into the belly. Take a big breath in, pull your arm up and keep pushing your hips towards your front. You are welcome to stay here because this is an awesome stretch. If you want to change it up a little bit from here, then you can put your hands on inside of your foot. This is called lizard pose. If you need to, you can put books down if you can't get your hands down. If you're super flexible, you can bring your elbows down. I used to be able to bring my elbows down. I can't bring my elbows down anymore. All right, so first your knee is into your shoulder, and you feel that. And then go ahead and let your big toe come up and let your knee come out to the side, and you'll feel those inner thigh muscles stretch. Those muscles that you used in bridge pose to pull your knees together, now you're opening them up. And then as you do this, every exhalation allows you to relax this a little bit more. Keep squeezing. From here, bring your foot back, frame your front foot with your hands, and send your hips back toward your heel as you flex your front foot. It doesn't take much to feel a really intense stretch. The more you flex your foot, you'll feel it in your ankle, through your calf, feeling it through the hamstrings. Push your hips back. Remember, every exhalation can allow you to go a little bit deeper. Big breath in, out, and see if you get a little millimeter or so. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So now right leg back, left leg forward. Here again, make sure you can see your toes. You really don't want this number happening because then because when you do this, you're going to feel more of a stretch to the back of the leg as well. So push your hips forward. Your torso might want to come forward. Try to keep it upright to increase the stretch. And then right arm over to the left. Feel it go from your quad, through your hip, all the way up to your belly. Every inhalation, fortify yourself, lift your chest, and then every exhalation, maybe you go down a little bit further. And then again, you are welcome to stay here or work it into lizard. Hands inside your foot. First, you try to keep the knee into the shoulder. That's a great way to do it. I like that way. Then if you want, you can open it up. Let the big toe come up off the floor. Let the knee come out to the side and feel the stretch to the inner thigh. Remember, letting your shoulders relax. Keep your belly in. Squeeze your glute. And then take both hands on either side of your foot, flex your foot, send your hips back towards your heel. You're probably hearing Harper in the background. He is rating, I don't know what that means on the Xbox. Keep that foot flexed to increase the stretch in the back of the leg. Is it Destiny that he's rating? Yeah, it's Destiny. And then relax, come back to a seated position. We're gonna lie back down, we're almost done. Now here again, get your strap, belt, kitchen towel, whatever it is that's handy. You all have something that looks like this, a rope, and we're gonna use that for a little bit more work. So lie down on your back. You're gonna take that strap and you're gonna flex your foot and bring it over your foot like this, all right? Now first we're gonna do an inner thigh. Remember, if it's too much, I go all down all the way, but you might not be able to, and that's fine. I like to anchor my hip down, so take your left hand onto your hip bone, or you can keep it out to the side, whichever one feels better, and then let your leg come out to the right, holding it. You can make it harder by lifting the leg up. You can make it easier by being at a 90-degree angle. Try to keep that left hip down and that left shoulder down. You're not rocking over to the right at all. Take a few breaths here. And then slowly bring it back up. All right, we're gonna do two things here. So first, take your right hand and place it on your right hip, and don't let your right hip come up. Your right hip stays glued to the ground. Slowly just bring that right leg over to the left, but keep the right hip down. You, at least I do, feel a really intense stretch on the outside of my thigh here. Keeping that right hip anchored. Take a few breaths here. And then we're gently gonna rock all the way to make it a twist. So then let that right hip come up off the ground. Stretch your right arm out to the right. Look over your right shoulder for a twist. And then come back up. We'll do the other side. Right leg down. Now lasso your left foot with your strap. You can also, I forgot about this, but you can also pull the leg in here and get an additional hamstring stretch if you want. Then take the left leg out to the left as you anchor your right hip down. And then again, you choose the depth. You should, especially Dad, you should be at a 90-degree angle. If you can go a little higher, great. And slowly come up. All right, now take the straps with the right hand, bring the left hand onto the hip, anchor it down, and pull your leg over just gently to the right. It doesn't take much. So I have to say, I do kind of like hearing Harper in the background rating on Destiny, because that is kind of the nature of yoga right now. You're not going to be able to find a quiet spot. Maybe you can, and that's great if you can, but it really is about creating your own space amidst all the chaos. And then slowly let it come all the way. Let that left hip come up, work it into a twist, look over your left shoulder. Take a few breaths here. Now, if you try it with a strap makes it more intense. If you try it with a strap and it's not for you, Beverly, I'm not sure how it's going to feel for you. If it's too much, you can do that whole thing with your knee bent without the strap, and then you pull it over. Makes it a little bit more gentle. All right, and now bring both knees into your chest, rock gently side to side, close your eyes. Take a big breath in. Breathe out and release, legs down and arms down. We'll take 3 long breaths here. Breathe in and out. Big breath in, fill up your entire chest, torso, and out. Last one, breathe in and out. So I hope that was helpful. 15 minutes, about 15 minutes is all it took. Thank you so much for tuning in, and namaste.